An ESPN analyst had a multi-layered take on an impressive Jets rookie and a veteran All-Pro losing his job. We react to all of it here on the show.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Hey everybody, what's poppin'? My name's Paul Weston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast shortly after. And we're here on the weekend. Thank goodness. It's been a lot of fun. And sorry, Knicks fans. I guess I'll say that right off the top. You're right there. Jalen Brunson going to take in a questionable shot. It was 106, 109. Probably should have just went for the two. Plenty of time left. And then chipped away at it instead of forcing a three. But that's neither here nor there. Indiana back in the series. It's 2-1. I'm sure Allen is fist pumping all over the place. God bless you, people. But thanks for tuning in. We got a juicy show for you today. We're going to go to my good buddy Jordan Reed, our ESPN analyst, for all his prediction action. Full article in the YouTube description down below. We'll be hopping on there in a second. And look, you people already know there's an anticipation here. Hop on Pop Saturdays. We can brand that. That could happen. People on the edge of their seats because they know what it is. So let me just feed the people what they want. That's what it's all about. Juicy, all of it. I see you people. So let's bring on my father. A little hop on pop action. Boy Green Daily. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm like mimicking some sort of an Owen Wilson accent. Yeah, here he comes. Here he comes. I don't know where that's coming from. But anywho, let's get right to it. My father joins us. Diaz did so.
Hey now. Actually, that was some weird Owen Wilson, Christopher Walken, drunken love child voice there. I'm not sure what that was. That was disturbing to say the least.
No question about it. I don't really know what was happening there, but as I can see based on your attire there, I'm assuming that you didn't shed any tears for the Knicks last night in their L to the Indiana Pacers. It doesn't look like
I would say that the four players on the court for the Knicks really let them down. The ones that had really helped him seal the game in game one with the kick ball that was off his hand, the charging penalty, the blocking. Yes. So apparently the check didn't clear for the refs. Anybody go back and look at the film at the end of game one where the kick ball that was clearly off the hand was a huge momentum changer.
Did you see some of the ones in Game 3 last night, though? Like, you had the full Nelson attempt. There was right under the basket from Pascal Siakam. The block charge call was a little questionable. That kind of seemed like a block, but they called it an offensive. There was a couple, but maybe I think I knew this. I think everyone knew this going into the game, that the refs were like, all right, we're catching a lot of heat here. We got to completely flip this bird here in Game 3 and shift everything the other side to kind of even this thing out, I think.
Right. So that we're going to give him that one, and we'll come back in game 3 so we can earn our money. So
yeah, there you go. Yeah. Hey, we've got to pay the bills. We're in Indiana now. Let's collect those checks. Indiana now down. We'll see with the Celtics. Just embarrassing, absolutely disgusting. In game.
Yeah, I was on a flight watching the Celtics game Thursday night, and among many travel delays. Mm-hmm. The icing on the cake was the embarrassing loss by the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, which apparently I didn't know this history, but the Celtics have a history in Game 2s in particular of just like, screwing the pooch and just like not showing a lot of effort in game twos, apparently. So that's a history nugget I learned. Also, shout out to the Denver Nuggets showing some chutzpah. They're getting smacked around. A lot of people kept saying they were going to get swept. And I'm like, man, these are the defending champs, MVP, third time in 4 years, only the ninth player in NBA history to have 3 MVPs. I know this isn't a basketball show, but I just coming off the top, the normal things we're talking about. Nuggets annihilate Minnesota in their first game in Minnesota in a long time. They haven't had a home playoff game and or playoff game in general, excuse me.
Have they ever?
Yeah, they have. Somewhere.
Yeah, I think actually the Pacers, by the way, just to jump back to the Knicks, the Pacers just signed a free agent last night.
Who was that?
He's a little older now, but he's good for at least 8 seconds. I believe they signed Reggie Miller.
Oh, hey now. That's just which, by the way, I bet they could use him. Bet they would take him. But some of the Reggie Miller stuff's a little overrated. We'll get into that in a different bit. But anywho, we'll get right into it here. And this is a multi-layer prediction, so we'll have to take this in a couple of rungs here. But it feels appropriate that Jordan Reed of ESPN just happened to say this when you were coming on the show, because we can kind of connect some of those Cowboys Jets things, those Cowboys Jets items here on the show. And it was this. So I will read the full prediction and then we'll end up breaking it down in a few layers. This was Jordan Reed. They asked the panel of ESPN analysts, there's a bunch of them, do you have a bold prediction for a rookie that's coming up here in 2024? Here's what he said. Jets offensive tackle Olu Fashanu will start at some point during the first quarter of the season and keep the job from that point on. Even though the Jets brought in Tyron Smith this offseason, he has struggled to stay healthy. That trend continues. Fashanu takes over, and it will be the beginning of a Pro Bowl level rookie season. So a lot to unpack there. Let's start off with the obvious, and that's not as bold to say that injuries could continue here for Tyron Smith. His prediction that is possible and that could happen, because unfortunately I had to pull out the old calculator, start beep boop bopping, and Tyron Smith has missed 49 games in his 13-year career to date, and he's missed at least 3 games in 8 straight years. And the Jets ended up factoring that into the contract. 1-year deal, $6.5 million, all the rest in incentives that could bring it up to $20 million. And he needs to play in at least 38% of the offensive snaps to see any of those playing time incentives, those bonuses that he will get incrementally as he plays even more offensive snap percentages than that. What do you think of Tyron Smith? Is it just kind of obvious now for 8 straight years missing at least 3 games that's going to be a 9th straight year at least 3 games here?
Yeah, I would tell you that I don't think so. I think using the formula that the Cowboys put together, right? Just in.
Yeah.
Playing offensive lineman in the NFL, right? It is the only position outside of the quarterback that doesn't get tapped in, right? Think about today's NFL. Wide receivers. Oh, my God, you played 3 plays in a row. Come on out. Running backs don't even finish a drive anymore. Defensive linemen. Think about that. Back in the day, it was mano a mano, right? You and I going head-to-head every snap. Now those defensive linemen rotate in and out in some weird, they play 40% of the plays.
Yeah, it's
guess how many
waves. Yeah.
Guess how many percentage of plays offensive linemen are expected to play?
It's very rare. The only one I can mention is the one they acquired, right tackle Morgan Moses, and that's because I believe of an injury situation. But in the second half of the season, he rotated in and out with another player and ended up playing in whatever it is, 79 or 80% of the offensive snaps last year. But that's a rarity for that to happen.
Right, and just think about it. You are in a fight for 60 snaps a game, right? And, you got injured. Okay. How many times are you going to get in a fist fight 60 times in 3 hours and walk out unscathed? So, I mean, and they're all, right? He's had a myriad of hamstring, some neck, it's not like it's been consistently the same injury.
Right.
So I think who knows is the answer. But he is getting older. And the formula the Cowboys were kind enough, because I guess cross conference, to give him, the recipe that worked for them, right?
Yeah.
But to think that he's going to take his job and lose his job is insane. So let me give you some Tyron Smith facts.
Oh, please
Okay?
do. Yeah, lay it on me.
At the USC Pro Day,
Mhm.
what do you think the time that Tyron Smith ran the 40 in?
Let's see. Tyron Smith's a big...
He almost beat Audric Estime.
Really? Wow. Well, man, now that totally shifts my number because I think
What was your number going to be?
I think I know what Audric Estime ran, so I was gonna say off the top, maybe like a 4.65 or something. Maybe.
What? Okay, so you obviously have no idea what lineman 40s are.
I
If it was
really...
a 4.65, they'd be the fastest lineman in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, I just know
Actually,
how... I'm
New
just
York
trying to give
Jets
him a bump.
FL came in close, right? At the combine, he ran 5. At the USC Pro Day, he was sub 5, which for an offensive lineman is unbelievable.
Sure.
Just for the
No.
record.
Yeah.
4.65.
Yeah, that was a dumb answer, and I've had a history of dumb answers on radio shows and this for trivia questions. But I know, like fat guys, like
You don't
Tyler's
have
in
to.
really great shape. Like fat
You
guys,
don't have to
are like
isolate down to
5'5".
radio shows, by the way. But
I appreciate that. Thank you.
and how many times do you think you bench press 225? 31 times before you come up with another answer like you did it 100
31.
times.
That's solid.
So he is a perennial All-Pro. He is going in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Sure.
And to put it in, let me put it in the last thing I'll say about him. So to say, who knows what the future is going to hold, right? Last year, one of the best offensive linemen in the game last year. We're not talking about you're paying for 10 years in the past, but to use a like-for-like comparison for Jets fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over the past, I'm going to get the number, 7 or 8 years, Tyron Smith has played in about 6,000 offensive snaps. 6,000.
And how long you said?
It's from about 2015 to 2023. 2016, 2015, 2016.
Okay.
6,000 offensive snaps.
All right.
In those 6,000 offensive snaps, how many sacks do you think he allowed in 6,000 offensive snaps?
How many? What did he allow?
How many sacks do you think he allowed in those 6,000?
I don't know. Maybe 5.
Okay. No. Again, that would be 14. 14.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. To put it in perspective, actually, this is a category that the Jets had a player that was in the top 5 in at least 2 categories. Mekhi Becton. I think you might have heard of him. He led the NFL last year. He led the NFL.
So he's number 1.
He had more sacks last year than Tyron Smith had in 8 years. Almost. I don't want to exaggerate. He had 12. He allowed 12, which led the NFL. So he did lead the NFL. He couldn't quite lead the NFL in other categories like penalties. He was second, but he was in the top 3 in both. So before we throw out the baby with the bathwater, before the first time that future Hall of Famer machine Tyron Smith, right, puts on the Jets uniform, let's not disparage him, say he's going to lose it. Olu Fasano has a incredible road ahead of him. He better wear sunglasses at night because that's how bright his future is. Wow. But to say he's going to replace Tyron Smith, let's pump the brakes.
I want to make this clear, actually. See this, people? See this, people? See this hardware right here? Look at this. See this MVP ring? That's right.
Getting it closer to the camera actually makes it blurrier.
Yeah, see?
There you go.
There you go. Hey, I'm glad someone's paying attention here. I won this, okay? I won this from a trivia game on the radio show from Domination, okay, pal? I want everybody to know what's up. Look, it's got a nice necklace. It's got an MVP ring because I kicked Manchild's Patuki on air in a 10-week trivia game of all kinds of sports. So look at this. I've got the hardware, baby. That's what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's very nice.
Right. So you beat up some poor guy that wears a helmet to school.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Make all your jokes, pal. All right, I finished number 1 in that race.
In a 2-person contest, you came
First
in.
place.
You were You're in the top 3 of that contest. Good job.
That means I was on the podium, baby. That's what that means. Booyah. Anywho, back to Tyron real quick. I'm kind of curious, though. So it was first reported this. So Tyron Smith signs with the Jets. it's first reported that he signed a 1-year deal for. So first it's reported he signed. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's a player I wanted. Phenomenal, great, great, great. And then like it comes out, it's a 1-year deal for $20 million. I'm like, oh boy, that's a little rich, but okay, that's a player I wanted. So all right. And then it comes out even further that it is a 1-year deal with only $6.5 million guaranteed, and the rest. I actually have all the details in the article down below. Here is all of the incentives for that contract. All right, here we go. I will read them out to you. So he gets some of his money if he does things like a Pro Bowl. He gets $500,000. Every playoff win, he gets an extra $250,000, so he can add that to the pile. All that's good for him. But most of his money is made in incentives. Here they are. If he plays in at least 38% of the offensive snaps, he gets $750,000. If it's 44% snaps, he gets another $1 million. 50% of snaps, another $1 million. 56% of snaps, another $1 million. 62% $1 million. 68% $1 million. 74% $1.25 million. And then 80, 86, 82, or 74, 80, 86, 92, 98, each add an additional $1.25 million to the pile. Long story short, it's for $20 million in totality, with all of that being tied in. But the curious thing that I want to throw at you is that I was surprised that Tyron was forced to sign this deal because of the scarcity of offensive tackles. I thought, people need offensive tackles. Tyron Smith's one of the best to ever do it. He wouldn't have to do this to this level where basically all of it's constructed. If he plays the way everyone believes Tyron Smith can play, he'll get his money, and I'm sure the Jets would be more than happy to pay that tab. But Tyron Smith said this after he signed with the Jets and met with the media. Yes, the way the contract is, this is Tyron Smith speaking. Yes, the way the contract is speaks to what's been happening the past couple of years. Honestly, I think it's a fair deal. I've just got to go out there and prove I can play to the highest level they expect me to. So Tyron described it as a fair deal. He was fine with it, but a lot of people have said, wow, Tyron, he kind of, for the Cowboys, okay, you wanted to do that to stay, but going all the way to an opposite coast to do it, a lot of people raised their eyebrow at that.
Yeah, so again, we've talked about it before. The NFL salary cap needs to change.
Okay.
Right. So, there's no allowance for injuries, right? And, it's all weird, and they need to clean it. It's almost like our taxes, right? It doesn't have to be confusing, right? You should be able to have like 3 people on your team that don't count against the salary cap. Maybe 2 offensive linemen, 2 offensive players, 1 defensive player, something to allow people like to love players, right? And not have this weird, chaotic, players all over the place. So you should have, and I won't say it's, franchise tagging, but some category that you're able to get the money and have it not count. So maybe it's everybody's quarterback, like whatever that doesn't have that huge impact, because we're paying quarterbacks $50-60 million against $250 million salary cap. That's insane. But I would tell you that, so that speaks to what I was talking about with Tyron Smith, right? He gets hurt. The Jets, let's say they paid him that $20 million in full, right?
Yeah, sure.
Then that hits them, right? So now Tyron has the skin in the game to counterbalance that. I'll tell you that, I can't remember off the top of my head. He might have missed 3 games last year. So,
yes. Yeah,
let's not get married to that $6 million cap hit. I hadn't looked at the contract breakdown like you just did, but if you start, he played in about 85% of the offensive snaps, 85% of the games, and that gets him pretty high on that bonus thing. Just roughly, you ran through it pretty quickly. I think he's going to be guaranteed, if he has the same health. Forget the playoff wins for a moment, the Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
I think he's going to end up north of $12 million, based on playing about 80 to 85% of the snaps.
Yeah, let me see here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7-ish on top of his 6 plus that. He'll be. How much did you project that you thought?
I said it was north of $12 million.
Yes, that's right. That's where he would be. That is correct. I will just explain. Some people don't know this, so I think it's worth explaining. So for people who have incentives in their contract, like Tyron, where it's $6.5 million guaranteed and then a bunch of incentives, those incentives don't count against the cap this year, which makes sense, because how could a team prepare for something they're not sure whether it's going to happen or not. So to have that money ready would be crazy. So all of incentive-based contracts like that count the following year. So if Tyron, let's say he accomplishes all the incentives, he goes to the Pro Bowl, they win the Super Bowl, all of this stuff, all that happens. That majority of the tab, which is whatever that is, $13.5 million, is on the cap for the Jets for next season. That's how it works for any team, by the way, with incentives.
Right. Well, so I think it was Tyron, he's put himself on the line. Let me, he could have signed with somebody for $8 million, maybe for $9 million. And right, he's like, well, I'm going to bet on 77. Right. People say when he's on the field, he does things in the weight room that, other people are astounded by. Right. They say if he gets his hands on you, the party's over.
Yeah.
The vice grips of his hands, right? He's pushing 700 pounds in the weight room and various things. His teammates say that I wish I could do some of the things that he does in the weight room. So the fact that he was willing to bet on himself, it made sense for him, right? And hopefully it wasn't pride blanking with him. And it makes sense for the Jets, right? And so I think it was a good contract all around.
Yeah, by the way, you mentioned the quarterback cap thing, so I couldn't help myself, but I had to take a peek at the old Dallas Cowboys situation. Dak Prescott is set to count $55 million against the cap this year. That is nearly 22% of your guys' cap is Dak Prescott this year. A fifth. Wow.
Right. And by the way, that's not outlandish. That's not, you look at around the league and let's talk about real money, right? We all play with like this monopoly money, like everyone plays this dirty game of pushing stuff down the street next year. And like, oh, well, you're only going to pay you 50 cents this year, but 99 million next year. And then we restructure it. You really look at the average salary cap of like Patrick Mahomes and some of these other players. That's the ballpark we're playing in right now.
Yeah, here's the top five. These are the most expensive cap hits that are against the team for this season. Deshaun Watson's number one at nearly $64 million. It's Dak Prescott number two at $59. Patrick Mahomes is $58 million. Kyler Murray's $51 million for the Cardinals. And then finally, round out the top five, Matthew Stafford of the Rams is $49.5. And just for giggles, because this one's funny, Daniel Jones is number 6 on that list at $47.1 million, which is that is hilarious.
Well, and you look at that, right? And so 3 or 4 of those are an embarrassment, right? Dak Prescott led the NFL in touchdowns in the MVP conversation. Yes, did he choke? Arguably whoever's fault it was against Green Bay Packers, but right, he made his money, right? Yeah, some of those other people are Deshaun Watson. When at the time I told you that was my stone cold lock, that was going to be the worst signing. The guy has worse character, right? He should probably be in jail. And it was the Browns are thinking about now you're in an embarrassing situation where he's probably the third best quarterback in the room, and the other 2 people you never heard of.
Yeah, we'll see. That story isn't written yet, so we'll investigate that. Let's go back to the
his roommate should be giving him a massage, but his roommate should be in the cot above him and in the penitentiary.
Jesus. That is vivid and graphic. Thank you for those memories and thoughts in my brain. I appreciate that. So let's go back to this Tyron Smith thing. So struggled to stay healthy. That's not bold because Tyron Smith has not been able to stay healthy since 2015. But the fact that he believes Olu Fashanu will start at some point during the first quarter of the season. Now, it's not a round number because of 17 games, but that he would start at some point there. And whatever he shows there is so good, they're like, you know what? Sorry, Tyron. Park that ass on the bench, baby. You're the best backup offensive tackle in history. You don't think that's possible?
Yeah, that's not possible. That he starts in the first. I mean, again, these guys are in a fight 60 times a game. Could he miss a game? Could he start? Sure. Right. But he's going to take over. And then, this is not a Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe situation. Right. No, it's not. And nor is it a Trent Green, Kurt Warner situation. Right. Right. This is not going to be that.
We will rally around Kurt Warner. We will rally.
Yes. But could he start? Absolutely. And I think they have that strategy, right? Olu's going to get, a few series, some kind of getting in the mix. And I think that's solid for him, to get that play time. But is he going to start and take the job? No.
Yeah, I will say this to your point. So, two things here. I'll go to the more impressive part of Jordan Reed's comment. We'll get to that in a second. But, because of the Tyron Smith plan, he's not going to practice a lot. Olu Faster is going to be the starting left tackle for like the next 5 months or whatever the date is. Like, he's going to be OTAs, mandatory minicamp, training camp, and all that until Tyron gets his reps in the plan. So, Olu is going to be fed a ton of reps. So, that's going to be very beneficial for him. Going through that process, which is good. But Jordan Reed says that he believes Fashanu will play at a quote-unquote Pro Bowl level rookie season. I know people make fun of the Pro Bowl, but by the way, all of Tyron Smith, he's been an All-Pro 5 different times during his career and an 8-time Pro Bowler. On all of Tyron Smith's 8 Pro Bowls, it was first ballot. He wasn't a 12th alternate. So I want people to truly understand that number stands out above other numbers where it's like, Tyron Huntley, what the? You're a Pro Bowler? And he goes like, well, and then they kind of get the glasses out. Oh, 12th alternate Tyron Huntley. Like, but the thing is that unless you're really doing your research, there's no real asterisk when you're looking at it on Pro Football Reference. Tyron Smith, 8 Pro Bowls. Tyron Huntley, 1. Okay, they're both are there. Both are equal. And that's a shame because I think one rotten apple spoils the rest. People have the Tyron Huntley think, Pro Bowl sucks. And I think the proper way, maybe the way they do it ultimately, because they do the Pro Bowl games now, it's all this goofiness. I think the proper way to do it in the future so you don't have all these alternates is do it like an all-pro list. You announce it. There's no replacement all-pros. This is the all-pro list. Everyone gets a tip of the cap. It goes on their resume. Hey, Tyron Smith was a insert all-pro this year, insert all-pro, and there's no game associated with it. So there's no alternates anymore. It just straight up it is what it is. I think that might be the proper way to do it moving forward to restore some level of credibility.
Yeah, I'm with you. This whole Pro Bowl thing, let's stop calling it the Pro Bowl, right?
It's like they call it Pro Bowl games now because it's like they do flag football and stuff. It's not even a real game anymore. But
yeah, I think that's, don't call it the Pro Bowl. I think what they did is okay, right? People, I enjoyed watching back in the day, whatever that quarterback competition.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, so that was always enjoyable, right?
Moving
So
targets.
then you do that, still do that, but you don't have to do it after the Super Bowl, right? Do it,
Right.
Now, do it in June, do it in May, right? And have these competitions. But right, here's the list. Come out with it like the NFL Network does it. 100 best NFL players.
Sure.
But stop calling it a Pro Bowl. Give them the accolades, give them the money, right? And then give them the average, right? That one of the most ludicrous things is the winning check and the losing check.
Oh, yeah, significantly different.
The Pro Bowl were different. So you got to take the average of that. You get it. It should be like Bland for the Cowboys, right? They have this clause that I had never heard of until this year where play for performance. There's some calculation out there for that players that significantly overpaid their contract. I think Brock Purdy fell into it too, right? They give them like compensatory pay because they're paying way above their contracts.
Yeah, let me see if I can find this. This is I don't know if I'll be able to find it quick enough, but I was trying to see because they had it for the Pro Bowl. I see that they're comparing it to like people who I guess play the Super Bowl. Like I imagine this number is very close. They have in the 2020 season, or I could give you a couple of seasons in 2020, 2021, and 2022. Here was the Pro Bowl check that the winners got: 74,000, 80,000, and 84,000. Let me see the Pro Bowl losing check real quick if I could see that so we could compare those numbers. Yeah, the players on the losing conference only received 44,000. So basically they get half, I guess, based on the numbers I see, or used to get. I don't think they do it the same way anymore. But there you go. Get about half of that. But the reason why I bring up the Pro Bowl thing and why I thought it was part of the bold take from old Jordan Reed, only 6 offensive tackles in the entire NFL get a Pro Bowl nod, 3 each conference. For Jordan Reed to say Fashanu, a rookie, where offensive linemen don't always play great immediately, to be in the conversation of one of the 3 best, regardless of rookie, veteran, or anything, holy. I mean, that's where I was like, okay, there's some boldness. There's a belief in the player more than I've seen. That's the part to me, if he gets in there, which again, according to the Tyron Smith history, he will at some point get in there. That to me was the most eyebrow raising. That's something.
Right. It's a clear clickbait example.
Oof.
Right. Give me some reason, give some intelligence behind it. Because anybody can say anything nowadays, and oh my God, he's going to bench Tyron Smith. No. Okay. Great first round selection. Great future and potential. What he said, he's just trying to get attention to himself.
Okay, there you go. So we will see. I'm excited about the Fashanu pick, pure left tackle. Apparently, you guys can read and hear more about his story on NewYorkJets.com, but he had been watching tape of Tyron Smith, and I'll probably make Tyron feel old since he was like 12 years old or something, watching Tyron and watching the highlight clips and saying that's who he wants to be like. And he said now to get the opportunity to learn from the best ever do it is like crazy. So, it's a really good situation the New York Jets have from there. But that's take, like I said, there's a full article with more details if you guys would like to dive into that in the YouTube description down below. Make sure while you guys are down there, make sure you like the video, hit subscribe, and spread the good gospel of Boy Green Daily, which is live every single day. Now, for your, are you ready for story time there, Pop?
Absolutely.
And before you do, the only thing I will say is the photo I have is not from the stadium, but it must be right before we're heading out. So I have that photo.
All right.
Reference. Okay.
All right. So we talked about a week or two ago or last week about how we do our trips every year. And so because it's this time of year, playoff basketball in the NBA,
sure,
I would talk about our first one. And that's why I'm wearing this hat.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the first traveling father-son trip was actually to Atlanta, where I'm currently working. And it was a Celtics-Hawks game, January 5th of 2013. And if you can see, Boston versus Atlanta, January 5th. We had hats custom made. Before we go into the game, so you have a picture you can bring up?
Yeah, I will throw this up. I will also say in the moment for you to think about that, and now when I wore the hat for the recent Celtic stuff, that's been pretty cool to be able to remember that. Here you go. This is it. The adjustments are there. That is Boy Green with a lot less beard, and there's Hop on Pop. We're wearing our boss. I still wear that. That's a very nice sweater. I wear that all the time. And there you go. This is headed to the game. Well, this was Hawks Lakers, so maybe this one was slightly different in December of 2013. I guess first world problem. Apparently, been heading to a lot of really good games because that was Kobe. Kobe coming back from the Achilles tear or just tearing it that night or something. So this one's slightly off kilter. I'll try to see if I can.
No, that's good. So right there's an example of how terrible your life is. Right, you went. And every time we do one of our trips, we get new gear. And so you can see the sweatshirts there. That was the gear for December. And so that year you went on multiple because the next day after we went to Kobe's last game, in his farewell season, then the day after that we went and saw the Redskins, which is what they were called then, versus the Falcons.
What a crazy game.
A day later.
I think that was RG3, and I got to look up that box score because that game was like crazy. That was like 1,000 turnovers. Oh, yeah, that was
when I bought the tickets, before we digress too much,
when
I bought the tickets, the Redskins had gone to the AFC Championship game the year before. The Falcons were playing well, and then that year they both imploded, were terrible. There was actually a sequence in the game where they had 5 plays and 4 turnovers. But anyways, I digress. We'll go back to the first ever father-son trip. It was this game, the Celtics versus the Hawks. And I won't tell all the stories from that trip, but I will tell one.
Okay.
So at that time, so it was 2013. So you were 20 years old at that time.
Wow. What a young buck.
And I do often, besides the apparel, which I'm wearing the apparel from that game, this hat, and then this Celtic shirt from that game.
That's crazy.
I took you out to a restaurant of your choice. So for everyone, as a child, Boy Green likes to, well, he likes the ladies. So his favorite restaurant back in the day was Hooters,
Sure.
and it wasn't for the it was not for the wings.
I was about to say I thought it was for the wings, but different strokes, different folks. But
I
anywho,
remember the day you came back from your first Hooters trip,
yeah,
and it took a week for your eyeballs to get back in your head. But I would like to say, so on a similar vein, we're in Atlanta. I asked him where he wants to go to eat. And for those that have never heard of this place, he wanted to go to the Tilted Kilt,
yeah,
right?
Mhm.
The Tilted Kilt,
Right.
which for those that don't know, the Tilted Kilt is a place that only employs like 17-year-old girls that look like they're 12,
That's
that wear, some weird. I felt like I was about to be arrested for even being in the restaurant. Boy Green actually passed out at the restaurant because he lost all the blood flow from his brain as he was sitting there. But anyways, so I told him I would never go back because, again, disturbing.
and I've not been
But
back since, which is a shame. I think
and I'd
some of
like you to
your
know,
yeah.
a moment of silence. That Tilted Kilt is closed now. So when you make your trip to Atlanta, A, I would never have taken you back there because, again, it was disturbing. B, it's closed down. So without your patronage, that franchise location is closed.
I feel like I have to do almost the Hunger Games thing there. It's a sign off. That's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
we
haven't
also
been to
get
one
the
since.
ambulance to resuscitate you after you passed out.
Yeah. Clear. That's all right. Hey, you know
Did
what?
you get the
They had
jokes there? The blood flow? Anyways, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I see that. Yeah, in the comments. That's very nice. You know what? I'm just I was there for the food. I was there for the food.
And the food was crappy. But anyways, so that
It
was
was
it. The
hard to
first Boy
remember.
Green trip. The
Yeah.
Celtics did beat
Okay.
the Hawks 89-81. It was a great
Okay.
time.
Ooh, okay.
And and then we did some other things, but we'll isolate down the conversation down to that.
That's good. That's good. But yes, so back then you worked in Atlanta for a short period of time, and now you're back in Atlanta for a different job. And Jared B says I think all the Tilted Kilts are closed now. Oh, geez. Oh, is that true? Oh, that's a damn shame. A damn shame.
Thank God.
Let me see if I can look that up real quick. What Tilted Kilts closing
You
down?
better be careful what you Google with Tilted Kilt.
Oh, what does that have?
It could be you could be on the watch list after you do that.
Wow. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Popular restaurant and Hooters rival closes down for good. The number one article. There was no surprise to anyone that Tilted Kilt was closing as it was reportedly removed from the brand's website.
Yeah.
Tilted Kilt. There was one in Syracuse closed down a bunch of years ago. I missed out on that.
The Tilted Kilt was the Hooter for preschoolers.
No,
So
that's not right. That's not right. And by the way, I see a super chat in here, but I'll tell you, Phil, I do not know about the new color code thing. I've looked into it for people that are curious, like the stuff on my screen and stuff for the new logos and stuff. I'm unaware of what it is. So I've looked into it a bunch, but I haven't heard anything from anybody. So unfortunately, I can't give you anything on that, Phil. Unfortunately,
yeah, I've not either seen anything.
So you guys will have to do some more research on that and try to find it. I cannot find any of that intel. So my apologies for that. All right, let's see here. Whoa, hey, we're hitting the road, baby. Toxic_D. There's one here in Clarksville, Tennessee. Yeehaw! Let's go, baby. All right.
Yeah, maybe you could get your van, swing by Dollar General, pick up some candy on your way to the Tilted Kilt.
That ain't right, Clark. That ain't right. Okay, let's go to the phone lines here. I'm going to throw that up in the YouTube chat. So if you guys would like to pop into the show, that'll be the way to do so. Let's go video call in link. If you guys are watching on any of the other platforms, Heavy on Jets, shout out to Heavy on Jets for supporting this show. I could not be on the air the way that we are without them, so I appreciate Heavy. And also on Twitter, @BoyGreen25 as well. That is the pinned comment on YouTube if you'd like to call into the show. just click that link and be in a relatively quiet place, and I can see you. You'll pop up in the green room, and then we'll bring you on here shortly. So feel free to take advantage of that. And he's already waving because he's ready to come on the show. This is a guy that joined me multiple times on my radio show this week. No man-child because his son's...
I can tell who it is. Don't say anything.
Okay.
I think it's Bobby.
It is. Bob in Vermont called my radio show multiple times this week. No man-child because he was going to his kid's graduation, so he's not back till the middle of next week. And Bob called in. He looked it up. He jumped in. So, Bobby.
Hey guys. How you doing?
Hey, Bobby.
Hey, you know what? I'm a cartoon character now, too.
I've heard people say that about you. Do you find that endearing? There you go. Let's pop up.
I love it. I love it because Alan's one, right? And I got on my cartoon character, I got to shoot Alan. So.
Oh, geez. Wow. Okay,
yeah,
that's graphic.
This is Gator's work.
I see. I did not see that. I didn't get to see the Jake Asman show yesterday.
Yeah,
so.
you gotta see it. It's hilarious.
Right,
oh my God!
Bobby.
Did Alan get? Oh God! Raked over the coals just there. Oh boy.
Okay.
Him and B Mac went on him like. Then King Lowski came on.
Oh, that's
crazy.
crazy.
It was crazy yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you do your own stuff at the beginning of the show? The video things you do.
The production. I think he's asking who did the production for your intro for the show.
Oh yes, it's a big shout out. I've been doing a Jet show for like the last 12 years or something. At first, it was only audio, so it's my partner Joe Branham. He does a Rams podcast, and he does all the video work, audio work, all that stuff. That you guys see at the beginning of the show. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, so you doing the radio show today or no?
No, only Monday through Friday. We actually do have a best of show. Actually, I lied. There is but it's not a call-in show. But that's for an hour, and it's from 10 to 11. We do have one of those kind of shows we put together.
And how about the Celtics? They lost too, so it's 1-1, right?
It is.
That one.
Bobby, my parents died when I was 10. You want to talk about that?
What?
No, I was just kidding. We could talk about Daniel Jones being the 6th highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Oh my God! I don't know how stupid they could have been. I think they should have paid Barkley, then franchise Daniel Jones. I really do.
That's what I would have done, by the way. And the Celtics game will be tonight, 8:30 ABC.
You see where he went to? The Eagles, the smelly Eagles, which you guys beat last year, and we could have beat them twice. So this year we're going to lose to them again, and they're going to run.
Oh, yeah. Saquon Barkley's going to go friggin' crazy.
Well, I would tell you that the good news is Daniel Jones has been training at how to break tackles from grass.
So where they're falling down too.
Yeah, the old turf monster. Yeah.
He's trying to figure out how to avoid the turf monster from tackling him.
Yeah, remember that game? He ran all the way down to the touchdown and he fell on his butt.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Well, your quarterback did the same thing, didn't he? Going into the huddle and he fell on his butt.
I'm sorry, Bobby, you're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Zach Wilson do the same thing?
He did, yeah. He was walking backwards, and you know what? This just tells you how crazy of a Jets fan I am. So when he's walking on the field and he falls, I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is a moment for him to laugh and then just like focus on football. Like, you have this goofy moment and everyone's making fun of you. You're like, you know what? Now I can just let loose. And he threw an interception on the play, so that didn't work out very well.
We really can't talk about the Jets without talking about Thanksgiving Day of 2012.
Oh, yeah. What happened there again?
What did happen there, Boy Green?
I don't remember.
Thanksgiving Day 2012, Mark Sanchez.
You have the wrong year then. Is that
the butt fumble?
No, that would be 2011 because, or the 2010 season even. So you have to go back even further because the Jets played them months later after losing 45-3. They played them in the.
We need to have a
playoffs,
fact
the
checker.
round.
We need to have
That
a fact
wasn't
checker.
the butt fumble, was it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was a butt fumble. I believe it was November of 2012.
Oh, yes. That was horrible, wasn't it?
Okay, I'm pulling.
I remember the Giants playing on Thanksgiving against the Lions, like in '86.
Oh, you're not talking about the massacre game that was from the 2010 season.
No, I was 1,000% correct. Hold on, November 22nd, 2012, Mark Sanchez and the butt fumble. Take it
Yeah,
to the
I
bank.
remember.
Only
I was right.
Yeah, but this
And then-
isn't. Yeah, let me. Okay, I need to just see who is the records. Okay, yeah, that's not what I was talking about. I thought you were talking about when Jets Patriots both were 9-3. They went into a game. The Patriots destroyed the Jets, and that's the game I thought you were talking about. Unfortunately, a lot of embarrassing losses to the Patriots, and they're both 9-3, fighting for AFC supremacy. We thought the Jets were finally going to make their moment. They get blown out, and then they end up playing the Patriots later in the playoffs in the divisional round, which is my greatest memory as a Jets fan. But yes, the butt fumble game after the fact. Yes.
But this year, the Jets are going to the Super Bowl this year.
That's it, baby. Yes.
Jets Giants. Jets Giants. Bob.
Giants, I think they're going to scrape up the bottom of their division.
Yeah, you're probably right there, Bobby. But thanks for calling in, pal.
Yep, no problem. Nice talking to you, Dad.
Good
Nice
talking to
seeing
you.
you. You're a great guy too, like Paul.
All right, thanks, Bobby, for calling in. All right, let's fire through here the phone lines. We got a lot of callers here. Let's go to this guy. Should be in Myrtle Beach. The shades on, the great weather. Let's go to EZ, our resident offensive coordinator. What's up, brother?
Yeah, I'm in Myrtle Beach. Look,
nice.
There's
Look
the
at
beach.
this. Very nice. Not in a
There's the
truck
beach.
this time. You're in a normal vehicle.
No, there's a sky wheel and all sorts of crazy
very
shit
nice.
down
Ferris
here.
wheel. Very nice.
I tell you what, they got these $50 seafood all-you-can-eat buffets. Don't be tricked by them; they suck.
That's good advice. That's good to know. I've always been because my future father-in-law, he and his son went to this place that's like an all-you-can-eat like shrimp and steak or something, and he said they made out. So I was like, wow, okay, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, well, this place had the little crab legs about the size of your fingers, and it's like it was like you spent more time trying to dig into meat. I threw like 3/4 of your shit out. It was bad.
No, that's too bad. All right, hopefully better
That's all
meals to
right.
come in Myrtle Beach.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna chill out today and just do absolutely nothing. I'm just driving around now because I had breakfast.
Yeah.
But I just want to say one thing.
Sure.
Go Jets.
Yeah, baby. There you go. Love it, easy. Enjoy your vacation, pal.
Yeah, man. I just had a call in. You have a good one, bud.
That. Yeah, you too. That's easy. Who's normally wearing a headset. He's normally trucking around out there, but enjoy Myrtle Beach, which reminds me of the. Here's a memory. Okay, so I'm sure my old man here remembers this. There's I'm sure it's still there. Coconut Joe's right out there in Myrtle Beach. We watched an NFL draft out there. That was the Brady Quinn year, and we're all sitting around, and he's sitting around in the green room. We're at Coconut Joe's. It's beautiful weather. We're in Myrtle Beach. I'm like, oh boy, this is great. Brady Quinn's definitely going to go here. No, maybe here. No, here. And I remember my dad when he fell all the way to the Cleveland Browns. He went like, son of a, because that you are a product of your environment, and depending on where you go can show your future. Jimmy Clausen gets his chance at the Carolina Panthers. He gets beat the hell up the next year. Then the number one pick, Cam Newton. Jimmy Clausen gets thrown into the cluster. So there's a graveyard of dead Notre Dame quarterbacks. But you can look at some of those situations, which I know my dad, I could always see him head nodding as I was telling the story of Coconut Joe's and Myrtle Beach for that draft.
Yes. Notre Dame quarterbacks, except for the GOAT, by the way.
Joe Montana. There you go.
That's correct.
Right.
Hey, is that John Candy in the stands? He is truly, forget Brady, forget everyone making fun of him, forget Kim Kardashian, forget all that stuff. The real GOAT is a Notre Dame quarterback, Joe Montana.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, legend. All right, let's keep going on the phone lines. We have NY Jets FL joining us here on the program. Good morning, sir.
Morning, gentlemen. Enjoy the show as always. Alan is conspicuously absent this morning, correct?
That's odd, isn't it? Bizarre. I don't know where he is because the Pacers won and everything. Yeah, weird.
Partying it out. I love the stories. We're planning on a trip to New York to do U.S. Open tennis because my wife was a big tennis player, and we always put that on TV. And she's always like, "Hey, we should go again." So I'm like, "Screw it! This is the year we're gonna go," and taking our daughter, and maybe we'll make a run to Saratoga because I was there 30 years ago when I was younger. It's a great town, It's expensive, but even to go for a day, it's a pretty cool place. Besides the track, it's a great little town to explore and things like that.
My sister was born there in Saratoga Springs.
Okay. So
Yeah.
then you could do the the 1 day thing, and it's totally different environment. And then you could spend a couple days in Manhattan. So that's my plan for the summer.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
I have to say that's an awesome trip to do the basketball and the football in one weekend. That's just to do that experience with your dad.
It's like a Father's Day special. I don't remember maybe the origin story isn't that complicated, but something to do with each other. And then especially we're living all these different locations now, to 1 year, figure it out for one time of the year at least, get together and do something. We've been doing it for I think it dates before the decade ago of the Celtic stuff. But yeah, we've been doing it for a long time. It's been a cool tradition.
That's awesome, and you can carry that on with your daughter, because that's what I do with my daughter, because we are actually Tampa Bay Lightning fans, so she's become a hockey fan on top of it. That's the only team I converted to in Tampa. I will never be a Buccaneers fan.
Which, by the way, must have been pretty good with all these Lightning championships the last couple of years, and we had their affiliate up here with the Syracuse Crunch, so not too shabby.
Right. Well, she kind of got into it a little late, so that's. She started watching it and she's like, "Oh, I don't understand it." I said, "You will in a month." I said, "It's got to learn. You got to see where the puck is going to follow the game. It's kind of, it's a very fast game. I used to play it. So I loved it. That was my sport growing up."
Yeah.
But by the way, Hooters girls nowadays, man, the quality is really dropped to the let's just say that. I walked in.
I've not been to Hooters in a long time.
Yeah, I walked into one, in Orlando, and I'm like, what the heck, man? They used to be East, 7s or 8s if, on a good day, but now it's, whatever they can get in there, I think.
Yeah.
Well, it was after the lawsuit. Right now, they would let Boy Green go in there and wear the hosiery.
Oh, there we go. There you go. Yeah.
You got to bring CPR panels to get his heart going, I guess. What are those called? Those paddles?
Yeah. Whatever.
I think that's
respirator. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure what other restaurant. There's Hooters. There's what's that? Twin Peaks. So I'm going to make sure I have that stuff in hot standby. The weirdest part is they have that Undercutter Boss show, and one of it was Twin Peaks. And during the show, the founder of Twin Peaks, he's like, he gave a waitress crap. He's like, "What do you think?" She was flirting with one of the customers, and he, chastised her. He goes, "That's not what this company is all about." Yeah. And I'm like, "What's the name of the place again?"
Yeah,
Twin Peaks.
Money. I mean, how's she going to make her money, right?
That's true.
That's right.
So everyone's got to hustle. It's that or maybe something else, but. Anyway, that's about all I got. I have to say compliments to you, Paul, a senior, about making these things happen every year. That's an ultimate dad thing to do. So kudos to you. As always, Paul Jr., I enjoy your show. I enjoy the Bobby calls every day. It's very entertaining.
Yes.
So anyway, you guys have a nice weekend.
All right, you too, pal. All right, NY Jets FL joining us here on the program. All right, we got another call. We've got the great Ricky New York joining us here on the program. What's up, Ricky?
How's it going, Paul? Junior and senior. Speaking of plans for summer, New York Jets, Florida. You like bringing up how you're right down the road for me. When we going out on them jet skis? Come on. You hit me up. We got to get them things out on the water. At any rate, are either of you guys Major League Baseball fans? Out of curiosity, there's a Major League Baseball player that was, I guess he was drafted by Detroit, but then played for the Toronto Blue Jays, named Devin Travis, brother of Jordan.
Oh, wow.
Who said he was a lifelong Cowboys fan, but he's been looking for a reason to run, and now he has one. So, senior, maybe a play from Devin's playbook. Maybe it's time for you to join the dark side with us. At any rate, I don't think you like that comment.
No, that's all right. It's I dipped my toe in the Jets fandom, and I have that in there, but I won't. I'm not gonna walk away from the Cowboys. But.
I'm just messing with you. At any rate, boy, this show is really going all over the place. We've hit Hooters. We've had all kinds of stuff in this one. At any rate, you know, I'll give you a restaurant tip.
Ooh,
if you ever make it, that's good for the stomach and the blood flow. If you ever up in Maine,
okay,
you go to Mark's Show Place, because true fact about Maine, they don't have strip clubs or topless places or anything but they do have Mark's Show Place, which is like a breakfast place with topless waitresses, the only place in the whole state. So
wow, I do love breakfast.
My free tip for you on restaurants.
Okay,
but
yeah, I'll take that free tip.
At any rate,
bacon eggs.
As far as Olu, I think eventually he might step up, but right now this is going to be Tyron's show, and just looking forward to this year.
Yeah, as am I. Ricky, thanks for the call, brother. And I'll just say, excuse me, that I think it's good for business for everybody if Tyron Smith continues to be the guy for at least this year. And who knows, maybe the year goes well and he rides the Aaron Rodgers window. It's good for business because Olu, while I think he could play right now and be a very, very good pass protector, and then we'll see how the run game continues to go as he gets opportunities, it can only help to see the practice habits and go through the bits and caboodle about how Tyron Smith keeps his body right, how Tyron Smith has played at this level, and all the intricacies. So as much as Olu Fashanu can absorb from Tyron here, to me, is it's good for business if he's starting and Tyron can learn patiently, or excuse me, Olu can learn patiently behind the scenes with all this time. Again, it is what it is. If Tyron goes down, Olu's going to be the starting left tackle while he's out. It is what it is, but hopefully he gets a bunch of time to learn from Tyron, I hope.
Yeah, that'd be the goal. And, I think as we talked about many times, and I think it's part of the strategy, right? Getting him series during games and in certain situations is going to help him develop. And then when Tyron's ready, he just slides right in. And again, he's an installed spare. So,
yeah. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. It's one of your favorites here. Johnny joining us here on the show. What's up, Johnny? Oh, wait.
Hey,
whoa.
Good morning.
That's not Johnny.
Yeah, look at them all cleaned up, too.
Yeah, I got to go into the office today.
The call's breaking up. Johnny, we'll try to see if we can get you to a better spot. I'll try to kick you out and see if we can bring you back in here. But you're breaking up, pal. So I'll kick you out and try to jump back in again. The pinned comment on YouTube. You guys would like to call into the show. We're losing you, Johnny. But yeah, it looks
very
like Johnny's
suave
dressed.
looking.
Yeah, dressed to the nines. He has to go in on a Saturday? What the heck? I mean, all jobs are
Yeah,
different.
I'm going to need you to come in on Saturday.
Yeah. So I do have a little bit of that. So Johnny's a trooper, though, apparently. A very good trooper. So we'll see.
I do have the answer to your question, which you did ask. I have seen your stapler.
Ah, there you go.
Have you seen my stapler? It's right here.
Yeah, I see that. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay, I think we have Johnny back here, so let's give him another whirl. All right, Johnny, go ahead.
Is this better?
Oh, much better. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like you switched seats in the car.
Nah, I don't know, man. I think I got to get like a Wi-Fi extender or something because my Wi-Fi's been acting up. But anyways, what's going on, Boy Green? What's going on, Papa Esden? Hey, anybody wants to sing because of your name, Esden Zone? Get in the zone, Esden Zone. Then I think that.
Hey, look at that. That's good.
There you go. That's a good musical piece. Yeah.
But Myrtle Beach Nugget, right?
Okay.
I don't know if anybody's ever been down to Myrtle Beach like that, but there's many memories at this place called the Dollhouse. And if you guys know what the Dollhouse is, you guys know what I'm talking about. And I don't know if it's still there, but
let me see.
Yeah, it's actually I think it's a franchise, but there are many places like it. Orlando had one, and Tampa had one. But yes.
Wow, looks like they have great steak. Wow.
Yeah, great steak and a whole bunch of other stuff too.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to look at your search history, by the way, Boy Green, and you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, it's probably true. Wow. Okay. Yeah, because like here's the byline on their website. No matter what your taste, we offer something for everyone. So that's great to hear. That's good. All encompassing.
It's a great slogan, man. So hopefully our offensive coordinator Ed goes there and tells us how's the actual view when he's there. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
If I went there with Boy Green, I'd have to bring a stretcher because he's not going to make it.
No.
Hey, I wanted to ask you guys something, right? I was talking with another friend yesterday with Dano, and we kind of got into the topic about the different rooms that we have in our current team, right, with the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And we were trying to figure out, like, where are we kind of like maybe we need something, right? Mm-hmm. And when looking into all the rooms, we saw the linebackers. After CJ and Quincy, right? That's it. So if there's like a crazy injury, we would have to either put in Sherwood, Surratt, and then a dude named McClary Ball, Zaire Barnes, and Sherwood. So
yeah, that's a list. Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? Like, I know we're trying to like figure out what's the spot that we need to maybe fill out. I mean, I think the Jets are finally in a great position because we're just trying to nitpick at this point, right? But that is a true concern of mine with the regards of the linebacking room.
Yeah, the complicated thing is as you try to fill a hole, right? So to your point, you're right. The two starters are great. CJ Mosley was a second-team All-Pro like 2 years ago, and Quincy Williams was a first-team All-Pro. So, like, those guys are good, and I appreciate it, Johnny. Thank you. But the only thing is with the linebacker thing is trying to convince a veteran to come in, hey, you're going to be a straight-up backup. Like to get a veteran name, which is which I'm assuming is what Johnny's talking about. That's the only piece of the puzzle that may be hard to convince a guy. Hey, you're going to be competing with all these no names for their backup role. But boy, injury insurance. If any one of these guys goes down, you get it in. That's that might be a difficult pitch. It's more intriguing for a Justin Simmons jumping over to safety because if he's still available in like a month and a half, like say, hey, you're going to come in here and immediately be the starter. Plus, you have all these incentives like a Tyron Smith kind of deal. Like that would be compelling for the linebacker. He wouldn't get that same pitch though.
Yeah, I do think that's exactly, I can't say his name, but you wrote an article about the safety that we brought in for the tryout.
Obi Melifonwu. Yes.
Yeah. Oli. Yeah, I think there's opportunities there, to, as we talked about, bringing in some of these veteran players to camp. I think that's an avenue. Again, we don't have a lot of cap space. And so getting creative, the rookie free agents, some of these veterans that, kind of kicking the can, looking for a job. I think we don't leave any stone unturned there in that aspect. So I think we do need to shore it up, analyze the talent we have, see if we have to make a move, if we're going to slide some money around, what do we need to do with the talent in the room? Because on paper, right, after we get past the first layer, it looks a little thin.
Yeah, the one is I focus on Jackson Valente, who's been a regular commenter. Center is the one to me that's a little bit more questionable because after Tippmann, who also had his fair share of demons with injuries last year, they had Connor McGovern, who's a steady Eddie veteran, and he's still available. He's one to potentially kick the tires on. I've just said this 1,000 times, and I'll keep banging the table. Wes Schweitzer, who is a guard center for the Jets, as long as he stays at guard, he's fine. There was an entire scene dedicated to him on Hard Knocks for how terrible he was at snapping the football. I don't want to be one injury away from that guy being the guy for Aaron Rodgers. So he's fine as a guard, although he also had some injury concerns coming in. But if you could get a true center, that would make me feel a little bit better about the insurance plan. But again, the good news is, and we could all circle around, if we're talking about, boy, could really use this, well, maybe a safety. a tight end. Those are the biggest problems we're talking about. Pretty good first world problem here for the New York Jets, but that would be the one I'd lean towards as center. If you could only have one, if you told me, Paul, you can only have one more veteran addition before things heat up, it would be center for me. But there's intriguing cases for some of these other positions.
Yeah, I'm with you. It seems like they've taken steps, to shore up almost every position. The other one that is kind of in the background, but again, when you're in a good position, is will these ridiculously taken too many rounds close to each other running backs, will one of them step up, right? Or do we need to do something else to scour for a veteran running back? So what's our faith in the Wisconsin Thunder, or the little Jackrabbit, right? Do we have enough faith in them that they're going to be able to fill in that role and devise that Jets, Thunder, and Lightning? That's the other one, right? Is it a top concern? No. Is it something? Maybe. It's really about evaluating your rooms, like as Johnny talked about, the linebacker room. Are we comfortable where we're at? Could we do something else in the running back room, or do we have what we need?
Well, apparently the Jets agree with you because one of those workouts in that Obi Melifonwu article, it's a separate part of the article at the bottom, but they also kicked the tires on Kadre Allison, who some people may remember from college, some people won't. He's a physical back, one who is like 6'1", 230-ish, somewhere in that range. The Jets keep kicking tires on guys, which a lot of people have been like, that seems odd. You already have 6 running backs on the team, and 4 of them seem really either locked in or in a very good position to make the roster. It seems weird that they continue to kind of investigate and look into those guys. But I think it's to your point of like, you know what? Better to have more guys in the room and then we cut them, because in the new rules, they flipped this back and forth over the last couple of years where it was 90-man roster and then you chop it down as you go through the process to 90, and then it's a ritual bloodletting. Hey, the date is whatever they draw the line at, August 24th. Everyone has to cut down their rosters to 53. Now you have the flexibility throughout the entire preseason and training camp to slice it to your own discretion as you're going through. So that could be another way to kind of, insulate yourself at that position.
Yeah, it's really interesting to me. They bring in another banger, right? Because both of their draft picks were that kind of banger type, around that same weight and everything. If I was going to spice up or juice up or, a sexy selection, it may be a Breece Hall light type of selection that I would be looking to bring into the room.
Yeah, Jackson Valente says bring back Zonovan Bam Knight. He actually re-signed with the Detroit Lions, so he's not available, but he's also in more of that banger role, though. He does have a little bit of juice. He had that 50-yard training camp run a couple of years ago that ended camp back a couple of years ago, but he's back with the Lions. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Daniel Murphy, a new guy to the show. What's up, Daniel?
What's up, Paul, man? An OG Paul, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been listening for a while, but I always usually either listen in retrospect or I'm listening while I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't ever call in. But first thing, the chat, man, I don't know if they're talking about strip clubs now in there or what, but it's getting a little wild.
yeah, it gets adventurous.
I don't know how it tumbled into that, but anyway. Also, I'm going to have to try to hook up with our residential OC, man. I'm flying down to Myrtle. I got a flight in Pittsburgh at 4:30. Fly down there.
Oh, nice.
So maybe I'll see him around.
Yeah, we've lived down there. We lived down in that area for a long time, and we used to visit Myrtle Beach all the time. Coconut Joe's, again, if that still is standing somewhere on that beach, that's a great place to go. I don't know. Do you have any other suggestions, Pap? Have anything down on the beach line?
No, anywhere on the beach is good. I think Coconut Joe's actually in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, but I digress.
I gotta double check that now.
Well, yeah, I got a buddy that lives down there, and he plays in like 2 different bands. So I'm gonna go to a couple shows of his and stuff. House of Blues. I'm not sure where else he's playing. I'd have to double check with him, but yeah, I got stuff to do down there. There's always stuff to do down at the beach, man.
Absolutely.
But, so back to the football stuff, like the Olu Fashanu unseating Tyron Smith thing, we can throw that out the window, man. You're not Tyron Smith. Okay, is he a future Hall of Famer? What would you guys say?
Tyron Smith? Oh, yeah. I think he's a first ballot Hall
Okay,
of Famer.
then there's not even a question. What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Come on.
That's right, absolutely.
But
Iowa Palms, by the way, cooking.
Yeah, I
Joe's
just saw
Iowa
that.
Palms,
Very nice.
which
The
is
food
not
looks
moving.
great, though. Yeah, very nice.
But yeah, no, he's not going to unseat Tyron Smith. It's like I said, Daniel. It's clickbait. The guy needed to make a splash and get people. Oh, what? The rookie's going to take his job? No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's how that stuff goes. But Paul, I think my prediction, if we land anybody else in free agency, and I'm with you. I want to be clear. I'm with you. I prefer the IOL, but I think Quandre Diggs is going to end up being a Jet.
Okay.
It's just I have a feeling, man. I got that prediction there, but
that'd be good.
Yeah.
I'm going to remember this. I'm going to write this down. May 11th. You called it. All right. I'll put that in my notes here. Yep.
Yeah. Well, all right. I didn't really have much to talk about. I just want to pop on and say hey and make my face known, I guess.
Awesome. Well, thanks, pal. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate the support, brother. Thank you.
All right. See you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right.
You too.
Daniel.
By the way, do you smell that?
What's that?
Bacon.
Excellent. Yeah, we're about to sign off. By the way, Iowa, I guess location is probably better than I do. How close is that to Myrtle Beach? Is that somewhat close at least?
No, it's close. It's right outside Charleston, within a half hour of Charleston.
That's
roughly.
terrible because every time that someone brings up Myrtle Beach, I'm like, Coconut Joe's, you got to hit it up. You got to hit it up. I've been saying that confidently for at least, 7 years.
I was going to let it go, and then you brought it up again. I'm like, okay, just it's especially when the guys go on there. I'm like, I can't.
People are looking at
this
Coconut Joe's. I've heard wonderful things. They're like,
it's a 2-hour drive.
No, totally worth it. Totally worth it. But anyhow, all right. Before we sign off, Johnny called back in. So Johnny with a discount double check here. Oh, he was just calling in to listen. Okay, that's okay.
My bad. Hey, question for Papa Esden. Damn, I didn't even know I was still on.
That's okay.
But I did want to ask him a quick question.
Oh, sure.
Right? Because we were talking about the schedule yesterday. What's the game that he thinks that the Jets are going to start the season with? And since we were talking about Boy Green, you going to a game and whatnot for the Jets, which would be the game that your Pop Dukes would be able to go ahead and go as well?
That's
I know
a good
lot,
question.
but like Murph and Daniel talking about going to Pittsburgh to go watch the game there. So,
all right, Pop, let me throw this at you. So these are the home games for the Jets. So one of the questions Johnny asked is if we did a big tailgate thing together where all the fans showed up to a game and you could go to one of these Jet home games, what would it be? So you have obviously the divisional opponents. You have, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and then here are the other 5. Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, Denver Broncos, the LA Rams, and the Seattle Seahawks. Does any of those tickle your fancy?
By the way, most of those options, what's the word I'm looking for? Suck. But the one that
go ahead.
I would say of the 8 games there,
the
Houston Texans would probably be an interesting game with they're going to be, I hope the Jets offense is going to be clicking, especially now with Stephon Diggs. So I would tell you that is going to be an exciting game. Hopefully it's not a typical New York game where it's snowing and raining and crappy. A bright autumn day. I think those 2 teams would light it up.
I think it's going to be a primetime game, unfortunately, but we'll see if that ends up being the case. Okay, Houston. Yeah, there's some good games there, but I appreciate that. Johnny, thanks, pal.
No doubt.
Drive safe.
Man, you guys have a great day. Hey, Murph, go to the dollhouse. Go to the dollhouse.
The steak's great.
It's great. Just letting you guys know. You guys have a good day, man.
Yeah, Johnny. That's funny. I caught him and he was like driving. What? Johnny? Me? I'm Johnny. Yeah, that was funny.
Wait a minute. I'm Johnny.
Yeah.
I was calling. It's me, Johnny.
Yeah. There you go.
If you can quote Mr. Woodcock, it's a good day. I was yelling. It's me, Johnny.
Oh yeah, with that. I heard you. What? Oh yeah, that's a good movie. I've not seen that in a long time. I got to see what that's on because that's a keeper. That's a keeper. That's a good movie. Underrated. Yeah, I don't know what year that came out. It's probably going to make me old to look that up, but that is phenomenal.
That's Stifler. Right. I think Stifler's on there. But
anyways. He is. He's the guy who's getting.
He's Johnny. Yeah, that's right.
And it's got the mom from Adam Sandler's movie, Don't Mess With My Boy. Yeah, she's the prison mom. Yeah, and she's in a lot of stuff. Yeah, she's the mom in the Woodcock movie, I'm pretty sure. But anywho, Pop, all right, go eat your breakfast, pal. Yeah.
All right.
All that.
I'll be thinking of you.
Gross. Phenomenal. We will catch you next week, Pop. Looking forward to it.
All right. Tell Tati Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to my lovely wife.
There you go.
And you have a great day.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care.